I'd been with Evan Fox since school uniforms and lockers all the way to the day I put on a wedding gown, and then right before the ceremony, he died. I cried until I nearly blacked out. That's when the floating comments appeared again. Someone please tell the tragic heroine he's faking it. Evan's pet canary flew away the moment it learned he was getting married. He faked his death that night and flew overseas to chase after her. The heroine cried at his grave while the canary cried in his bed. The worst part. When he came back from his fake death, the heroine still didn't know and happily married him. 2 weeks later, rumors spread across New York that I would be entering a marriage alliance with the Crown Prince of Finance. Evan's buddies who'd helped him stage the whole thing rushed over and confronted me. Evan just passed away. How can you be moving on already? He's the one who died. Was I supposed to be a widow for life? The comments didn't stop. If the heroine goes up to the roof, now she'll find out the hero isn't dead. The heroine hasn't eaten in 2 days and can barely stand she's not climbing anything. Still, I dragged my leaden feet toward the stairwell. One flight from the top, I heard a familiar voice edged with lazy mockery. "Is my funeral not over yet?" It came from the phone of Luke Parker Evans' best friend. "Not yet, Evan," Luke said. "What about Jade? Has she noticed anything?" Another friend, Dylan Song, chimed in. "Evan, are you really into that little canary? You faked your death to chase her to England and made us all play along." I froze, fingers white-knuckled on the railing. Evan said coolly, "Whether I'm into her or not isn't your concern. Just keep it from Jade." Luke asked, "And the wedding?" "Of course, we'll still get married," Evan replied. "Wait till I'm back, everything proceeds as planned. But before I settle down, let me rebel for love just once." "Okay." The three of them laughed. The blood in my veins turned to ice. I had prayed 1,000 times that Evan might still be alive, but never like this. The comments fluttered. "She's seen the truth. Please let her tear that man to pieces." I didn't storm in. I turned and walked quietly down the stairs. After retching in the bathroom, I faced the woman in the mirror, red eyes, hollow cheeks a wreck. I splashed water on my face and towel dried my tears. The comments sighed. Of course she knows the truth and chooses to endure in silence, infuriating. Luke intercepted me in the hall with tissues and a solemn face. "Don't be too sad. Evan wouldn't want to see you like this." I stared at his performance. "Do you think Evan might not be dead?" Luke flinched for half a second, then recovered. "Impossible." They pulled up his clothes and shoes. "You saw them." A week earlier, Evan had driven off the Hudson River late at night. Police guessed he'd been swept away trying to escape the car. I'd camped beside the river for days while the rescue team searched. They found his coat and shoes. Today was supposed to be our wedding day. I'd clutched our framed photo until I sobbed myself hoarse. And now to learn it was all theater. My pain, just a punchline. The comments sneered. He learned nothing in school but how to keep a canary. Disappointing. I'd thought this was pure sugary romance. Turns out it's garbage. The heroine's a stunning heiress if he doesn't want her hand her over to me. The nausea ebbed as the comments patted me on the back in their strange, chaotic way. Luke said softly, "If Evan could see you now, he'd be heartbroken." Heartbroken. The words stung like a joke. This morning, I'd thanked Luke for arranging Evan's funeral. Now I knew they were co-conspirators, led by a comments tip. I found the canary's TikTok. She'd been in front of me many times. A minor influencer under Evan's media company, her name was Sunny Tong. Her latest video street scenes in London, interlocked hands, a man's arm around her, a tiny mole on his hand I knew by touch. Caption: "He left a perfect equal match to cross an ocean for me." The video blew up. Comments swooned. "Real-life billionaire chases canary." The arranged marriage fiancé is just a narrative prop. Another thread raged, "Are you blind?" This isn't canary romance, it's homewrecker fanfic. The fiancé is the legitimate one. For the record, Evan and I weren't an arranged marriage. We'd started in high school. My parents had once tried to pair me with Hunter Hale Scion of the Hale family on Wall Street, but I refused. I'd seen my parents' polished love in public and their rotating lovers in private. Their rare nights together always ended in fights. I hated that rot and swore off alliances. In junior year, Evan sat behind me wagging his metaphorical puppy tail on my worst days. Saying yes when he confessed felt natural. We went from school uniforms to wedding fittings, even went back to our old school to give a talk, a campus love story people envied. I thought I'd found the real thing. Turns out the man I thought would never betray me had found another canary. In her videos, she called him hubby posted cozy daily life with her sponsor. When Evan said he was on business trips, he was flying her out. I'd tell him, don't overwork, and he'd say, I want your parents to respect me. I'm going to earn you a wedding everyone envies. 5 minutes before the accident, he texted, if anything ever happens, I'll love you forever. I cried every time I reread it. Now it burst like a soap bubble. The comments snarked. After the fake death, he'll claim he was swept downstream, rescued by a kind family, and lost his memory. And the heroine will swallow it and marry him Q, lifetime of misery. Maybe not this time. The plot's changed. She knows first. Downstairs, Evan's mother glared at me from the sofa, eyes swollen. If you hadn't begged him to come home, he wouldn't have driven into the river. You killed my son. The day we were supposed to try on dresses, he drove off the bridge at midnight. I'd swallowed my grief to comfort her. She shoved me away. You jinx! You killed him, the comments clucked. A blessed woman doesn't marry into a cursed house. Run, girl. Run! I used to grit my teeth and let her abuse hit me like rain, especially when Evan had promised we wouldn't live with her after the wedding. But now, watching her clutch his black and white photo like a prop, something in me snapped. I laughed. She lurched to her feet, ready to attack. Dylan and Luke jumped in with the usual auntie. Please calm down and apologize to her sis. I leaned close and whispered in her ear, your son deserved what he got. When are you joining him? She gasped and crumpled back onto the couch. The comments howled, finally queen behavior. Relatives swarmed and she pointed a shaking finger. Arrest her! The comments rolled their eyes. No wonder she raised a coward. I'll move out, I told them, tears prickling. If I'm such a curse, I'll leave the Fox house today. Luke and Dylan exchanged a look. This wasn't in their script. Luke slipped off to text Evan. Evan replied, Mom raised me. Tell Jade to give her a pass. Luke typed back, too late. She's packing. I couldn't hear them, but the comments narrated their chat like subtitles. I packed my room. Our framed photo slid off the nightstand and shattered. I stepped on it in heels glass, crackling underfoot. He might not be dead, but in my heart he was. My best friend, Nina Hale, called a moving company and offered me her brother's vacant house. The comments buzzed. The brooding anti-hero finally appears. In the original plot, he's criminally underwritten, but we love him. He texted the heroine last week. Need help? She never replied. We hadn't spoken since middle school. All I had was an ancient Facebook connection that kept sending spammy links. I'd muted him long ago and missed his message the night my interview tears flooded TikTok and the whole city mourned Evan. I finally answered polite distant. He replied instantly. Understood. I remembered the day Evan confessed wind roared through the oaks by the old science building. Up on the breezeway, Hunter Hale leaned on the railing, watching me with fathomless eyes. I looked up, then down, and told Evan, yes. When Evan kissed my cheek, Hunter was gone. I moved into Hunter's empty place and slept for 2 straight days. When Nina dragged me to a bar, I spotted Luke across the room, secretly snapping my profile to send Evan ran into her. Should I comfort her, Evan gnome? Let her suffer. When I come back, she'll cherish me more. The comments gagged. Back home, TikTok pinged new video from @sunnytong, 23 days till he's back home. Tonight, he took me to see the Northern Lights. When followers asked why he had to return to the States, she wrote, "I only want his money and his body. He'll go home to marry for status. I'll find my next target." The comments erupted, homewrecker, with a spine of jello. I forwarded her account to a media friend. "I've got a story for you. Midnight tipsy." I stumbled upstairs and slipped into a warm bed, too warm. My fingers met a hard, heated chest. A man groaned softly. I bolted upright, but he caught my wrists. The bedside lamp clicked on a wash of light over pale, sculpted muscle. The comments shrieked POV. My heart. His eyes narrowed against the glare, then stilled. "Jade." I blinked. "Hunter." He released me. Adam's apple bobbing, then threw a sheet over me and turned away. My silk strap had slid off my shoulder. He dressed in a hurry shirt, half-buttoned the line of his chest clean and startling. "The door to this room is always locked," he said. "Tonight it wasn't." I murmured. "Nina told me to stay here. I took the wrong door." He studied me cool and distant. "Stay. I'll go to the old house." The comments exploded. "Stoic villain says I'll go." Heart says, "Please ask me to stay." "You don't have to." "It's late," I said. "This is your home." He paused, slipped on his watch, then nodded. "I'll be downstairs." Morning, he was at the table. "Good morning," he said. The boyish edges I remembered had hardened into something elegant and dangerous. "Milk, please." He warmed a bottle and slid over a spare croissant. My assistant bought too much. "I'll be here for a bit," he added. "New project nearby. It's your house." "I'll move out once I find a place," I said. Nina texted, "Sorry, I didn't know he'd be back." Grandpa says he volunteered for that nearby deal so he could stay at that house. My birthday was in 2 days. I'd planned to spend it on a Maldives honeymoon with Evan. My mother called sweetheart. We've booked the ballroom at the Trin family's Vantage Hotel. Dressed to kill. My parents had never liked Evan. When he died, they wired a few million to my account. Simple, blunt comfort. Hunter sent a friend request. I accepted. His avatar, a crescent moon slashing the night. The comments clapped. "We get it, sir." I skimmed his Instagram, mostly work with skydiving and training thrown in. Back in high school, more girls chased Hunter than Evan. The Hale name blazed across finance like the sun. That used to remind me too much of my philanderer father. After Evan confessed I'd barely seen Hunter, he moved to a private international program and then abroad. At my birthday gala, New York's upper crust packed the hall. I played a violin piece, applause raining down. Whispers floated. "Isn't that the Trin heiress? Didn't her fiancé just die? She looks fine." The comments snorted. Supporting characters have wooden lines. Still acknowledge the queen. Offstage. I spotted Luke in the crowd. I hadn't invited him. He waved. "Dawn," I cut him off. "Don't call me sister-in-law." He scratched his head. "We found a birthday gift Evan prepared for you. He asked me to bring it." He held out a ribboned box with a card. "To my dear wife." The handwriting wasn't Evan's. "Leave it," I said, gesturing toward a mountain of gifts. He texted Evan. "She wasn't interested," Evan replied. "Are you brainless?" Jade is sentimental. If she opens it here and cries, she'll be humiliated. Luke beamed. "You know her best." Also, rumor is this party's a cover to scout an alliance match. Should you come back sooner? Evan? She hates alliances. Useless. I'll be back end of the month. The girl here clings. Then Hunter arrived with his grandfather. "Happy birthday, Jade," he said. We clinked glasses. After pleasantries, the elders shooed us to the rooftop garden. "If you don't want this," he said, "say no." My heart tripped. I smiled and held out my hand. "On the contrary, I'm willing." "Let's work well together." He took my hand, drew me closer. Camera shutters clicked. "If it's cooperation," he murmured, "we should look the part." I wrapped my arms around his narrow waist, laid my head on his chest for one long beat. The photo hit the front page that night. Our families confirmed the engagement. The comments cheered and hissed in equal measure. After the ceremony, Luke and Dylan tried to corner me outside like chivalrous clowns. "Evan just died. How could you?" I laughed. "He died. Should I be faithful to his ghost forever?" Dylan blurted. "Actually, he..." Luke yanked him back. "Police say he might be alive, maybe in..." "Stop," I said. "If you feel so guilty when he resurrects, you can be wife number 1 and you wife number 2. Deal." They choked. Hunter arrived with security aura, dropping the temperature 10 degrees. They fled. News of the Hail-Trin alliance dominated New York and trended nationwide. In Europe, Evan saw the photo of me in white arms around Hunter, eyes sparking. He shoved Sunny off his chest. "I'm flying," and I stepped out on Hunter's arm. He waved frantically. I glanced across the crowd, eyes passing over him like he was air, and got in the car. Back at the Fox house, he told his mother to take down the black and white memorials because they were bad luck. He found our photos torn in half. Glass shattered. "Mom, are you crazy?" "You drove her out," she snapped back. The comments howled, internal warfare. Delicious. For the record, I'd done the tearing, erasing myself from that home like a ghost. In the getaway car, Hunter asked, "What are you looking at?" "A clown," I said, smiling. He smiled too. "Then look at me instead. Wedding night." Hunter was flushed with champagne shirt, unbuttoned just enough to make the air heavy. I stood to shower. He caught my wrist. "Where are you going to shower?" "Can I kiss you, Mum?" He kissed me until air vanished and the floor tilted. "Shower," I whispered. "Right." He scooped me up and carried me in. "I can shower alone," I protested. "I'm drunk," he said gravely. "I need help." The water answered for me. Morning. I woke tucked against him, his arm heavy at my waist. The comments wailed. "Where are our 10,000 words of slow burn robbery?" Hunter cleared his calendar and took me out of the city. Distance and ocean light stitched me back together. The first nights, I still woke sobbing for no reason. He learned to hold me and kiss the tears away. Eventually, the nightmares stopped and his methods for putting me to sleep evolved. When we came home, I was trending again. Keyboard jurors wrote, "Her fiancé just died and she remarried heartless." Others whispered the myth, he was swept downstream and rescued, returning to find his fiancée married. I reached for my media friend, but Hunter's team had already scrubbed the slime. The fever broke. 2 days later, Evan waited outside my office, gaunt and shaky. "Jade, it's me." I wasn't dead, just swept downstream, rescued, and I lost my memory. I finished for him. He blinked. "If you knew, why didn't you come find me?" The comments. "He thinks he's a web novel male lead." "Sir, you are not. People are calling you heartless," he begged. "Divorce him. Marry me." "No." I stepped back, addicted to fake sincerity. "How's London with your canary?" He flinched. "Who told you, Luke Dylan?" "They helped," I said, "and your TikTok receipts sealed it." A Bentley idled at the curb. Hunter got out long-limbed and cold-eyed and pulled me behind him. "And you are Evan Fox, her former fiancé." Hunter's smile was a blade. "Odd. I recall a funeral. Did the body not bloat?" Evan snarled, "You and she are just a transaction." And yet Hunter said, "I'm the one she married." "What exactly are you?" The comments roared. Security blocked Evan's wild swing, and eased him to the sidewalk. "Don't come near me again," I told him. "You make me feel dirty." That night, Hunter, usually self-possessed, lost the reins. "You only call me husband," in front of him, he rasped. "Never when it's just us." I touched his cheek. "Because you never said you wanted to hear it." "I want to," he whispered. "Husband. Again." Love overflowed in his eyes like a tide. Meanwhile, Evan beat on Luke and Dylan until they fought back and pinned him, spitting, "We almost got ourselves blacklisted by the Hales for you." Sunny called, wailing her past, scrubbed by the internet, had been screen recorded. A dating show demanded penalties. The public labeled her a homewrecker. Evan hung up. Funding dried up. His little media company crumpled like tissue. One night, jobless and hungry, he dragged himself to the river. Fireworks cracked open the sky and spelled "Happy First Anniversary, Mrs. Hale." A couple nearby sighed. Hunter did it again. Evan vaulted the railing into the black water. He was fished out by a fisherman who said, "Don't thank me. Would have been a waste of a decent meal." He slunk back to his hometown to leech off his parents. The comments vanished after that. I didn't know where he went. I didn't care. The only person I cared about was Hunter, the so-called villain who rumor claimed cried for 3 straight nights when I once said yes to someone else. It took me 2 years of marriage to hand him my whole heart. He was endlessly patient with every small moment, fitting the shards of me together. For Hunter Hale, it was never too late for me to start loving him. As long as I stayed by his side, he was content to be a willing prisoner of my love.